acrobats. Today we're going to do one called Fandango. This one is pretty old, but I think the coolest thing about it is how confusing it is. And that can be a good thing. I mean, I keep saying we do acro because it's hard, not because it's easy. If you want a challenge, do Fandango.
At least this one, okay, it might be confusing, but it's still pretty looking and flowy as usual. And we just have a little saying so you can like remember it.
Yeah, and obviously we'll break it all down, so by the end it'll be a piece of cake.
Prereqs for this one are just some basic washing machines, nothing too crazy. Maybe some ninja stars and probably rotisseries.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, so first thing we're gonna do some 3-step rotisseries. We're gonna start a bird. It really doesn't matter where you start. You can start on either leg, on either hip. Yep, you can start anywhere. That's the cool thing about 3-step. So that's the easy step. This step's pretty easy too. And then to my other hip. So there's
See how she finishes with her far leg up? You should do that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go over it. Okay, so one thing about this is our hand grip changes every time we get to here, where Jacob sees my back. And there's different ways to do it. And then we're ready to roll, and then I can turn my arm the right way it goes. And one thing about rolling to your back is I like to look at the ground while I roll, and I like to drop my torso down as I roll. And then my bottom leg goes up. And then we balance in this cool pose here. And then this is the easy step. Whenever we go to a side star, I like to point this leg down and then I roll onto it. And then his foot's in the perfect spot. And now we're back to my back again, so we can change our hand. And then Jacob can explain.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If the flyer doesn't know what they're doing, I'm always remind them that if this is the leg that's down right now, it's the one that ends up pointed up. Yeah, and I like it when the leg goes straight up from the side. I think that looks cool. So to make this look really nice, I like to pause each time. Usually I'll say to flow and don't stop anywhere, but it makes sense to stop in this one because here you've got to have straight arm, you've got to have flyer chest up. Right here, I have to bend my arm. W has to have straight arm. We have to be in a nice side star. So you can pose in this one. And now we roll onto our back again, and you can pose in this. And you can do the other side too.
Can we go through one more time? I was gonna say one more thing right here. We can turn our hand, we're ready to roll. And the reason I said to look down as you roll to your back, because if you don't really look down and you roll, you might look something like that. And you might always end up over here on your feet. So the reason I look down that way is so that my whole torso can be hanging down. So I'm thinking of arching my back and I'm like looking at my arm and then I look at the floor as I roll. And then that helps put me right in this shape and then I'm not sitting up too high and I'm not up here as I roll. And then of course you guys do both sides. Get good at your other side.
Okay, we have straight arms, and then I have to reach my leg far over to the side, and my toes are in. I'm doing an externally rotated foot, but it looks internally rotated once I've crossed my legs. And then Debbie drops onto my toes and we're in the right spot. I reach far over, I touch my toes to her hips, and then she turns onto my foot. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, so I just tilt my hips to help reach Jacob. So as he's getting ready to step, that's when I'll see his foot there, I can feel it touch down, and that's when I bring my other hip down to him, and then I have to switch this hip up. If I don't do that, if I just face down and bird, it gets a foot right in my gut, and it doesn't feel good, and it makes the step harder for Jacob. So I try to do a quick switch. I bring my legs close together, like touching, and then I'll tilt. So the more I help that tilt, the easier it is to reach.
And next we'll do a harder version. We'll do a hand-to-hand version. And I'd like you guys to do this at the same time, but you could do one step below that, and you step with foot first. Here, go over.
Actually, first we reach our hand across the top.
Oh, we do?
And then I pull myself over here.
All right, it's hands first and then hip.
Now the order sometimes confuses people, but I do my hands and I'm looking at my watch, and then I pull my whole torso that way as I roll my hip. So switch my hips, and then I'm ready for the other side. So I get hand first and then my hip next.
And this is a pretty hard drill, but if you can do this, then the propeller will be easy. Want to start going around?
Yeah, so once you've got that, you just add in the Ninja Star part, and you've got propeller.
I have to drop this leg down really fast to get out of the way. And I have to be pretty stable. It feels really unstable when I'm in the most twisted part, when Debbie's face is over my face.
The thing I think that makes this machine really come together is this part right here with my hand. I reach his hand, and look how far away I am right now, but I pull my whole head to go face over face, and then I continue. I'll pull in his hand to pull me this way. So really use that hand-to-hand grip and get good at steering.
We're gonna do a small machine which is inside of the Fandango. It's called a flip-flop. It's kind of the reverse of a revolution. So we start with Ninja Star hands, Wounded Bird, and then Debbie is going to flop forward, kind of like a front walkover. I put my foot on her sacrum, and then we're over here, and I let go of the close hand. I step, and then this next part, and then get a good position here where you have straight arm and Debbie's chest is up. And now I have to replace one foot with the other one. I stick in the knife edge of my foot right here, and then Debbie can flop over this way.
Cool. Symmetrical.
See what you're doing?
Yeah. Okay, whenever, let's see. Do one more step for me, Jacob. This is where we started on his other foot. I just stay the same. I don't do anything right there. But I grab Jacob's hand, just like a Ninja Star. And then, like he said, I'm totally sideways to him, and I want to make it like a front walkover. So I think of leading with this leg, and then giving Jacob my back, and really leading with that leg. That leg has to go down so that I can balance. And then we just naturally let this hand go. And I always think I have to roll towards Jacob here. So those rotisseries we practiced. And then I just stay patient here and let him switch his foot, and then we do the same thing on the other side. And I'm really trying to stay sideways the whole time. I try not to come like over this way. I'm trying to be this way the whole time.
Yeah, it's easy and pretty.
Yeah, the flip-flop. Okay, now we're ready to put the Fandango together. So it's a little complicated, so we're just gonna start at the beginning and walk you through the whole way. The first part starts just like a Ninja Star or like a flip-flop. So I flip to my back, I roll towards Jacob, and then here's the new part. We reach over the top and we do a propeller step. And then we're ready to...
Then it's a backward rotisserie.
That's right. Okay, and here's where I do this a little bit different. We haven't done this step yet. I have one hand, and instead of my bottom leg going up, I actually think of this leg as going up, but I turn to my back. So I'm trying to stay really sideways. And I still do the same shape we practiced earlier, I just get into it in a different way.
Oh yeah, and then if you've done revolutions, you might, your instinct might be to look at your own hand, but we found that this machine works better if you do this because I have to push Debbie around the back. This part's like a ninja.
And then we do a 5th position step, so that propeller step. And everybody, that's exactly half of it. And now we're doing our other side, but the same thing on the other side. So it's like a flip-flop. I go to my back, roll towards Jacob, and then we do a propeller step. And then here's this half rotisserie part. I roll to my backside, but I put the far leg up. That way I'm ready for this step right here. And it's okay if you do the wrong leg. It just means you have to switch before you flip up again. And then the end of it goes around the back. And then one more 5th position step. And now we're back to the very beginning.
Can I talk through my parts?
Yeah.
So I think we flop here, let that hand go, rotisserie step, and then I try to keep the movement going this way. Grab the hand, we go across bird, and then reverse backwards rotisserie, and then it's a flop over, and then around the back, 5th position step. And then this is where it can be confusing because you might think, oh, this is a backwards rotisserie step, but it's really a flop over.
Yep, it's starting over now, just on our other side.
One rotisserie step, and then it's inside toes, Debbie's head goes across, and now it's backwards rotisserie. And now it's a flop over, around the back. Yeah. Got it, everybody?
Okay, we want to show you again, just so you get this order down, and I want to talk through it one more time. So I flip to my back, I roll rotisserie, we go over Jacob's face, and then here, it's like you could do a couple things, so you might be tempted to do this front walkover thing again, but really, this is where you roll to your backside. And I think of rolling the top leg that's already up is up, but I roll to my back. And then you should be on the right foot, on the right base foot to flip over right here. And then we go around the back, one more 5th position step, and now it's everything other side, but you might be tempted to roll to your back, but it's not. It's starting over at the very top now. So it's the front walkover, rotisserie, 5th position, and now you can roll to your back. And then the end of it goes around the back and around the front. And then it's at the beginning right here. This is a little tricky to remember.
Yeah, this is where again you might think it's a reverse back fly, but it's really a flop over.
So if you just try to remember this order with us while we do it, then I think it'll start to make more sense. And we can do a bunch without stopping, so you can see its natural speed.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go at least 3 times through. Well, that's the Fandango. I hope you liked it. And of course, we would love to see you post this on your social media accounts. Tag us.
Yeah, we love to help, guys. We don't get very many people sending us videos, so we really do love it when you send it in. We want to help.
Yep, ask us questions.
All right, see you next time.
See you next time.